Here we go. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm in a day of recovery.
Mm.
Big day yesterday, uh, which has kind of been my world for these last few months.
Hmm.
And again, I think I know what my this chapter is supposed to be about. So I'm not seeing it as, oh, everything's kind of gone off sideways. I actually think it's aligned. So today's recovery day.
It's interesting you put it that way. As a recovery day, and I don't know if the weather is forcing you into one. Also, like I'm assuming you're getting what we're getting, which is like complete downpour, and maybe some lightning later, thunderstorms. So
Yeah, the weather does definitely keep you in a little less expanded opportunity space.
yeah. So you said yeah, you're in a recovery day. The It's an interesting way to put it because I feel like I've been go 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 with all of the projects. Everything's partially done everywhere. Anytime I've got 2 minutes, oh, I think I can try to squeeze something in. So you're late. Okay, you're not late. Like you said, okay, maybe I can make 9:20. I've pushed you into it, right? But I'm like, okay, she's not here yet. It's 9:22. I have time to go hang the laundry and start another load. And then hoping that you're not here when I come back to know that like I've screwed up. This week, I took some time to like cut some rhubarb and make a dessert and put it in the oven. And then, I have to stew the remainder because I have too much stuff. I've got to do something with it. So I started a pot, and then I was like, oh, got to do a thing. I went to do a thing. I never came back. So Julie's in the kitchen, and she's like, what's that plop, 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 plop sound? And it's the stewing rhubarb on the stove. So she's mad because I've left something on the stove without watching it. I've started a dessert and it's in the oven, and now she's in charge. So I'm doing too many things. And then I am forced into a recovery mode. Same thing with I smashed my foot this week. I was doing some more work outside, and I was doing the easy work. I don't need steel-toed boots for easy work. I'm just covering my work so it doesn't get rained on. And I kicked my concrete step, and I've smashed my toe, and my toenail is like half up. Forced into recovery.
Interesting.
And it's not a bad thing. It's just a reminder that we can't do it all the time. And for me, I have to take moments to slow down. I can't try to pack in everything into every moment, even though that's where I feel like I have to be.
Yeah, again, isn't that what we can all relate to?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time to recover. And then there's consequences to that choice that you make, right?
Forced into recovery. Kind of a weird way to put it, but it's just a universe's reminder that you need time to slow down. You can't go all the time. And I find I make more mistakes at the end of a day that I've done a lot of work. Like painting is one of them, where you like, that's when you hit the ceiling or drop something, or I'll just try. I got enough paint. I can make it work. And then you're spattering stuff. Like it just, weird stuff happens. So yeah, you need time and space for everything else. You've brought a topic today. I'm going to bring up the banner. Chasing the shiny. What is it, Karen? What shiny thing are we chasing?
I'm stealing this one from one of my mentors, Bob Chartier, and he called it the crow effect. First time, and we're talking 20 years ago, but it's so relevant right now. I felt it was worth bringing back. And it's that we often are looking for that shiny object, or it's a bit of a like that looks really good, and we go to that, and then we go to that. Kind of what you're describing, this moving along. And what we talked about in the work that we were doing at that time was with Bob's work, it was the engagement work. And I really started to notice this. One of our ways of development is workshops, which we do. And I would have, it showed up for me as I would, when I started to experience something, he would notice me at the next workshop and he goes, "What are you doing here? You already heard me." And I said, "Yeah, I heard you, but I don't understand everything yet. I want to understand that more. I want to know this more. I want to be able to have a better grasp on it." But I have been guilty of, what's the next workshop? What's the next experience? I want to learn this. I want to learn that. I want to look at, and I think we're really seeing that in these times with social media. We're chasing the shiny often.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to talk about that today because it's in all of us. This is not a judgment. When we talked about that, is to notice that. And when people will come to our sessions, when we were building capacity, when I was doing the work in the federal government, and even sometimes with us now, they said, "Well, I already heard that. Is there anything new?" So it was noticing that. I think in these times even more, we need to deepen ourselves. A lot of when I worked in organizations and we talked about, I went into offices and organizations that often needed some team building. And the number one thing that would show up would be communication. And people would I remember going one day and redoing this, and it went up again on the what's our challenge. And someone said, "Why is that there again? We dealt with that last year."
It's over. It's done. We did that.
And there was quite a lot of irritation in the room. And we took a break, and the fellow who had hired me came out and he says, "They're right. This was we talked about this last year." And it was such an aha moment for me. Because when is it ever going to go away? It never goes away. But is there another level of what needs attending to? So it really helped me start to appreciate that. We often think that's the shiny. We already dealt with the shiny. Didn't we deal with this? But there are reoccurring, I believe, things we need to keep learning and stepping into and reflecting on and exploring, well, what's that look like now? And what's getting in our way of communication? Let's celebrate some things we've already done and we've nailed it. Measuring our progress, but also recognizing this is a big bucket. And instead of going on, well, we need to talk about this, when really, if we don't get this done, this nailed, communication, where we are right now, and what our challenges are, and what we need to develop, it doesn't matter about the next shiny object.
I have several diverging thoughts on this, because yes, we if I use our Peer Coaching Circle as an example, we've delivered, I don't know, countless numbers of these to various people, and some people will come back and some people won't. And the way that we talked about this not long ago was, it takes time to start to integrate what we teach. So the first time you're introduced to it, and this is why we always give a freebie, is just come experience it, right? What is this? Okay, so now you've got a first view of what it is. And then you come to one of our training, and then we give you the mechanics, the nuts and bolts and things that you need to do in order to produce one of these. And then somewhere along the journey between first introduction and total embodiment, there has to be a gradual adaptation and learning of all of this stuff as you go. And it's not a one and done, it's a continuous learning. And I'm still, depending on which process we've taught or learned, I'm still on the continuum of somewhere between don't get it at all, never seen it, to it's embodied. I don't even think about it. I just be. I know the process well enough that I can just be me in it and allow it to happen. And then give some sort of learning or adaptation to help other people understand it better because it's embodied. But it's a continuum. It's not a one and done. It's a lifelong experience.
Yeah, I once I understood that, but again, I sat in rooms because I was what I did is I project managed a lot of this development. I was supporting the expert and the communities and the organizations that were accessing this skill building, this development of engagement and coaching. I was sitting in a chair. And I remember one day someone came over to me who knew me and said, gee, you've been sitting in that chair for like 4 or 5 years. Why aren't you up in the front of the room? How's this serving you? And I said, I'm getting so much out of this chair. You would not believe the development, because I'm getting to hear it over and over and over again. I'm getting to experience it over and over and over again. I felt like I had the best chair in the room. When I told that person that, I said, the leadership that's growing in this chair is something I wouldn't get anywhere else. My leadership development needs to be right here. I'm very, very content and grateful in this chair. And I could see that person's kind of spinning and absorbing what I had just said. They go, oh, I get it. I said, yeah. Maybe someday I'll choose to step up in the front of the room because that's where I'm supposed to be. But I'm very, very grateful for where I'm sitting right now. And I'm making a big difference in the public service in this chair. So just really recognizing that the idea of staying in long enough to know, and it's like a topic when we're in a coaching topic. We think we need a new topic every time we're going into the opportunity to practice. What I have found out, Ian, my very first topic in my coaching program is still the same topic. It's got different language around it. It's like the communication bucket. If you want to build that capacity that I'm at the highest level of communication, there are many, many smaller pieces in that bucket that are going to support the overall communication elevation of yourself as an individual, if you're in an organization or a family unit, or as a whole, if you're in a bigger system.
And the way I see that, there's always new players. There's always we're all in a different level of development in all of these skills too. So the room is evolving at the same time. So how do you navigate all of those subtle changes? We did a communication workshop last year. We're good. We don't need any more. I actually think there's something to the frequency and intention of having, training and workshops on the same topic. So you hit the new levels. We do a monthly workshop, and there's a lot of people who are pretty consistent, but setting an intentional time to practice and try things out, I think is critical to the deepening of the understanding on the continuum that I'm talking about. You need that time and intention. Like, you could tell me, yeah, Ian, you got to slow down more. Obviously, I need reminders pretty hard, breaking my toe. Like, I think we kind of surface level go through a lot of these things and yeah, I learned that. But that intentional time set just for that thing, I think, is what helps drive that expansion and change.
I don't know why the metaphor that came to my thoughts when you were speaking, it's like a blood pressure cup, like when I had no, but it's like I was very, very aware, and I took care every day of my blood pressure, and it was important to do that. And I got really good at knowing the signs inside of me to check out, but it was with the support of regular, checking in and trying and doing it on a regular basis. And the other thing that, with this kind of intentional space to just ground yourself back in, not only the tools, but how you're practicing it, because you're changing all the time. Your environment's changing. We think everything's just stagnant. Well, it truly isn't. So it's good to come in. It's like what I said today about recovery. And 5 months ago, I would not have even had a recovery day or known what that felt like, or even given it any priority. But I know that if I'm going to do this work and support what I'm doing in lives right now, that's really critical to my rhythm. But I didn't know that 6 months ago. It took me, as you know, having a month that I totally lost. I literally did not know a month had gone by to recognize, wait a minute, I do need to have recovery.
Have you told that story? Like no, but like in theory, what happened? Like
I don't mind telling it even in truth, right? But so I don't. But I've been dealing with some very intense dynamics and situations that I've never been through before, and supporting somebody through that. And this was a day. I'd gone to this person's place, and we were looking at a calendar to see what activities were happening that day. And I saw a March calendar sitting there, and I said to the person in the organization, could I have the February calendar? Because I want to know what's happening on February 24th, because today's February 24th. And she said, no, it's March 24th. And I honestly, in my internal voice, went, oh, she's so busy. She doesn't realize she's taken down the February calendar here because it's close to March. I am thinking, I feel so sorry for them. I know they look really good. Until my partner, the woman I was visiting, said, Karen, it really is March 24th. And I had to take my phone out, and it was March 24th. I had lost a whole month. I've never had that happen in my entire life. And what I learned was I lost track of time, because time didn't matter that month. I was so immersed in what was happening. I lost track of time. So I knew that, wow, that's pretty serious. I need to pay attention to that. And maybe I do need to do some recovery time. But my second thing that I worried about, and this is where my ease and lightheartedness comes in when I'm trying to practice more, is the first thing I realized is I needed to get my income tax ready. Because I thought it was free. And it was
ease and lightheartedness. Let's talk about taxes, baby.
And I was able to get them in on time. But it was just an awareness of that, the value proposition and of needing, and it's important for me to have that recovery as an intentional practice.
There's another aspect of this I thought might be interesting. It's a lot of people look at us as the experts in what we teach them, right? Even though, okay, you've got your diploma, I do not. Mine is architectural. Like, it has nothing to do with what we do. And we've been teaching this together 13-ish years. You far longer.
I'm older.
However, even though we're at the front of the room and we're trying to build a community of people that can practice these things, we are still seeking feedback to help us grow. Not because we don't know what we're doing, but we want to make it better. We want to deepen the learning, make sure that our points are getting across, make sure the learning is of value and of substance for people, and they can really walk away and use it. We're going to be doing that today in our Test Check Perfect, where we get feedback on what we've done over the past 18 months. So there's always a level of learning and growth that can happen, provided that you're open to receive it. I mean, we could put out a survey that says, hey, what did you think on a scale of 1 to 5, what we did? Like, great, we got 4s. What does that mean? It's not going to help us. It's something we could put up on a website. Hey, we got 4 stars. But it's not going to help us grow and learn and deepen what we're doing and help deepen it for others if we don't really seek grounded, specific feedback on what we've done so we can make it better. And we're not teaching, for the most part, new things. We're finding new ways to introduce it, maybe more specific ways to help people see things. But the most of the content is not new. I mean,
Well, and I
you
think
borrowed
that,
this stuff from a long time ago.
yeah, there's some stuff that's just, core. It's a foundation,
Right.
and you don't build a house without a strong foundation. So we need to continue to make sure the foundation is solid. Now, what we have, and it kind of connects to chasing the shiny, so maybe we can get caught in that, and so what this does is it asks for their view in, because if it isn't, serving them, or isn't something they want to grab, or it isn't grabbing them, but we think it's pretty shiny, we have to understand worlds are changing all the time. And so it gives us that, like, this particular process gives real, like, rigorous, strong, like you, Nick, tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we need to hear it if we're going to grow. And what we want to do is grow the work so we can continue to do the work we love and serve the people who are choosing to want to grow their skill sets to have conversations in a different way. As you know, I would like to delete the word coaching because it's been overused, can carry a lot of scary baggage, or I'm not good enough baggage, or what is that, or do I have time for that? It's got a lot around it. But the methodology of coaching and the foundation pieces will elevate you to use it in your conversations, to strengthen them, to have them more meaningful, to contribute in the way you want to contribute. These conversations I'm in now, they're getting a good workout, to be prepared, to be present, to honor that human across from me, to still advocate for what, things that I know that, need to be understood, and maybe perhaps how do we navigate that along the way? I'm getting one of the biggest workouts I've had in my life, to be honest. So yeah, I'm good at it some days. I'm really crappy at it other days. But I'm a human, and I recognize at the end of the day, doesn't matter whether you got the diploma or the whatever you call it. At the end of the day, I'm a human being.
I think that's a valuable thing to highlight also for those who do try on this and they're, I'm not very good at it or whatever. Yes, we all are not very good at it, depending on how we show up. I could be in theory the best coach in the world, have all the diplomas, but if I've had a bad day, or I'm stressed, or something is going on in my life and I haven't taken the time to slow myself down to be present, I am dog shit. I am not going to be good for you at all. And that's reality. And even moment to moment, something triggers you and takes you out of being present and brings you into maybe a zone of judgment. That will throw you off. And it's normal that it happens. It's how do you bring yourself back? And it's only by holding on to those tried, tested, and true methods that we have to help bring ourselves back, not necessarily a new shiny thing that we think will, fix it.
And I want to add that we call things tools because that's what we know in the training world. And they have a frame around them, but what's inside the tool is a practice. So that it's something that you can replicate, and you decide how you're going to shape that practice. We give you, here's one that can get you started. Having a frame, something that holds you in, so that, because when you're in those crazy wobbly stages, what brings me back is the tool and the practice. Okay, right, relationship first. I so desperately feel the urgency for action here. But if I don't start there, I'm not going to get there. I know that right now because it's really critical stuff. So building that foundation of relationship, Karen, so slowing myself down, having a recovery day so I have the energy to, stay in that and be really mindful. Because when I'm not rested and when I'm really stressed, I'm not myself, I'm not in my body, and I'm not going to show up and probably get the outcome that I hope and desire to get. Because it's never guaranteed, because it's a partnership with others.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why the chasing the shiny is what I saw over the years, and I think it's still habitual in us. So I'm not knocking, like, we get stimulated by shiny. And there's nothing wrong with having shiny in your life. But where there's this stuff where it can be feeling like it's a little, oh, this again, it's the repetition so that we can add more shiny in. The new gets put on top of the foundation, and then you build on it and keep linking it. So you can see, okay, that makes sense. This is this connects to that. This is the next layer. And so we layer in. And that stuff can be pretty shiny, but it's all grounded in the foundation. I don't know if that made sense.
No, that makes total sense. And I mean, I just think of it because I've been doing so many renovation things. I've bought some new shiny things, and some of them are very helpful. Laser levels. Oh my God. I wish I had that thing 20 years ago. What was wrong with me? Why didn't I buy that stupid thing?
Right.
However, they have a time and a place. I can't use it to, I don't know, hammer something, but it is super helpful to help me make sure that I'm organized and prepared. So and maybe those shiny things become something that is a staple that you use, but don't throw away or only go to the shiny things. Even in that metaphor, you're just going to throw away your money because it's just too many cool things that have a potential value. But if you're not using them and practicing and using them to their fullest potential, you're throwing it away. And actually, a lot of the tools that we do have, we don't get through the surface level anyways.
Yeah.
Like I use this as a camera and an alarm and a calendar, email too. Okay. Really? But I could do thousands of things with this thing, but I don't go into the depth that I could. I'm often caught myself watching those little 1-minute videos on how you can like take these most amazing pictures by doing all these things and changing all these settings. I don't have the bandwidth to do that. But if I was into cameras and photography, yeah, I would go maybe into crazy depth. But I'm not using it to its full potential, but I also don't have the desire to do so. So I would pick a select number of practices that you want to incorporate into your life and practice them as often as you can to get that depth. And be intentional about it. Any last thoughts, Karen?
Just felt you did a really good job again of wrapping it up. So, it's just to notice, how we need shiny in our life, but we have to remember those basic things we need to keep coming back to. And what are they? Knowing what they are helps.
Foundation.
Cool.
Thanks, Karen. Good topic.
Thank you.
Talk to you later, everybody.
Bye.
I